How's this possible?
Quiet as a mouse.
I'm
Except the
back
wolf
now.
can sniff him out.
User joined your channel.
Do we got a minute or two yet before this starts?
Waiting on Juggernaut and Wild Dog. I think they're in a game.
Alright, I said something to him. I'm gonna text Squid and I will be right back in about a minute.
Good.
User joined your channel.
Hey, so does that mean after the 8 o'clock battle that you still will be able to chip for 10 o'clock? Or
Yes. We
so
have
once
two
your 8
chips.
o'clock's done, then you can go back and chip again, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Well, last night we had an hour delay between our battles because we only had the one chip.
Right. No, I understand. I just want to make sure that's the way it was because that's what I was thinking. But
There should be 2 chips available tonight. One of the penalties should have fallen off last night at 9 o'clock.
Last night. Oh.
yeah, they chipped for 8 and 9.
Yep, both are Himmelsdorf.
Does anyone try that Total Army Arena yet? Or is it not out yet?
Hell
No, what is that?
Well, it's a new game from Wargaming.
I think I only need one wargaming game in my life.
Yeah,
That's what I say.
Sucks all the oxygen out of the room.
Alright, my pizza's on its way. I'll be right back. Juggernaut and them should be back by then.
Chibi, you got a rat in your house?
What kind of dog is Fenrir, GB?
Hellhound.
Blue healer, if I'm not mistaken.
I am unfamiliar with that. Let me Google it.
This dog breed is whiny bitch.
They say it's just like the dog's just like the owner in it.
Oh!
Snap.
I
Again,
didn't catch that.
I laugh, but I'm not gonna admit it.
I didn't hear it. Can I hear that again?
Because if you look at most anything you look at, usually the dog will have some kind of features like you have.
Yeah. Oh.
Just saying. It's not
Dogs
like you have a
aren't
big
fat 'cause
nose,
I'm
but
fat. My dogs
yeah.
are fat 'cause they like to eat.
Hey, what's the name of that breed again? I must have got it wrong.
Blue healer.
Healer, not a blue feeler. All right.
Heeler.
Gotcha. Maybe rock
Unlike the blue
concerts.
wheeler.
Also, that's an Australian cattle dog. Those are cool looking.
Yep.
Lot of energy. High strung.
What are we waiting for? Paul? Juggernaut? Wild Dog?
I think Fire need to take a quick break.
Well, at least we got Red here. That's all that matters.
Red,
Why does
have
it
you
matter
been-
that I'm here?
Well, have you been looking at the suggestions?
I don't know. Why not?
Got my freaking hot wings. Got paper towels.
Crowns.
Browns. Okay.
2 out of 4 kills so far I've done.
User was moved to your channel. User was moved to your channel.
Done killing those seals yet, Juggernaut?
Oh. Yeah, I tried. Got 257.
Probably deserved it.
Ouch. You don't have to be all truthful.
No. How rude of me.
We need to be politically correct.
Yes, I don't
Man,
think
I'm
that's
in
possible.
the wrong place, yeah.
We wouldn't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
Speak
Okay,
for
Firewolf looks
yourself.
like he's still away. Tell you what, nothing like Domino's hot wings.
Oh, that sounds delicious.
I haven't tried Domino's since their pizzas were terrible. I guess their pizzas are not terrible anymore.
No, they're
Oh.
still terrible.
Oh, they are.
Their artisanals are actually really good.
This so pizza's really something hard to screw up, and Domino's does it really, really well.
Yeah, Bubba.
Hey, everybody needs to have some talent.
Yeah, even if that talent's messing up what's easy.
Hold on a second here, but they're cheap.
So's my ex-wife. I still wouldn't recommend sleeping with her.
Do you sleep with your pizza?
Sometimes depends on how fat and I don't want to get up. Might lay next to me. Just kidding.
Ouch.
Well
As long
played,
as you
good
can,
sir.
as long as you can pee into a bottle, you can hardly ever have to get out of bed.
That sounds like an extremely boring existence.
So are we taking bets on whether or not Firewolf's, wife kidnapped him for some snooky real fast?
User joined your channel.
Yeah, it's not boring if you've got pizza and tanks.
iPad.
Padme.
Pat and Douche in the same room. How you doing, guys?
Now, I'm just curious, Pad. Why did you pick the wimpiest Digimon in all the world to be named after?
Huh?
Patamon?
Yeah.
Like the wimpiest Digimon.
I know, right? But that wasn't who I named it after.
Well, I'm just letting you know.
No,
More importantly.
When you get done deep throating your fingers, I'll let you talk to me some more.
I'm deep throwing the chicken that's in my mouth.
Dude, bulimia is real. Be nice.
Fuck that.
Well, first time I heard his name, I thought Padawan was a Star Wars reference, but that's actually a Padawan, isn't it?
No, this is a character from a book. It's the name of a character in a book.
That's his story, and he's sticking to it.
Hmm.
I think it's time for me to change my avatar.
Alright,
again.
looks like Firewolf's back, so we can go ahead and get this started.
I'm here.
Alright, so, recap. We're planning to, as soon as Clan War season is done, which is Friday, to start working on restructure to better fit the needs of the clans through the ideas and suggestions that have been submitted via Slack, and they'll be discussed in this meeting. Really good. So, with that, there's been a couple ideas kicked around. I've got it all open. Somebody just posted something showing off, nobody cares. Division seems to have been a pretty repeatedly talked about option. So divisions or battalions seems to have been called out. The actual size or amount of them seems to be in flux. Other things that have been discussed have been publishing a schedule, which we've talked about several times, but never can seem to make it work. Running strongholds or advances when we're not in clan wars with credit boosters, a mentor program, weekly training, communication with the members, publish a schedule in advance and stick to it, which I think I said twice. Cash Cow has pitched the idea of having a mentor for each tank class. So he's recommending, that. He also recommends that you can't have somebody in a T subcall for mediums that has flex across from the map. It's a very good point. We've had that a few times. 10v10 training should be something to look at during off seasons. Again, mentioning Strongs. Train against them at tier 10. Yeah. Train subcolors with color for map and strat, which again agree with entirely. Hold training sessions for anyone who wants to work through colors, which of course Slange does. For anyone who wants to work through a color strat and pick it apart while the color defends the plan. Which again, good ideas. Juggernaut had a huge ling of things that he proposed that we shortened down to a division idea via a Juggernaut thanks to a bullet chan. So if you want to check that out, I highly recommend it. I'm sure he'll talk about it. Let's see here. Firewolf pitched the ideas of 2 divisions and restated that recruitment should be a top priority.
Also, the use of TeamSpeak.
Yeah. That's what I was just skimming. PDX has dropped in that clan communication continues to be an issue. Increase participation in Team Slack. He also asked a question about how the interface in Slack is supposed to work with Engine. That's a sell question. I have no idea. We voted for Shire to be a competitive clan before season started. Now we should discuss how season went and direction Shire should take moving forward. The goal is to be competitive as we can. Don't need to field as many teams on the map as we can. The clan that consistently field 2 or 3 teams. About half of our allocation of 100 members to be online and ready to fight. I'd like to see enough competitive members available so anybody can take a night off with real world responsibilities. without impacting our ability to field teams in the full. How is this going to work with a large portion of the Shire? Membership is casual. What are our goals? So, does anybody have anything to add to that list?
One thing that didn't get mentioned was the idea about the reabsorption of Mordor.
I was going to go into that with the discussion of battalions, but yes, that is also on the table.
I think TeamSpeak should be mandatory. I've been saying that from day one. What's the point of being in a clan if you're not going to be on TS? I understand we got some players who, you know, work from home and can't be on TS, but they want to play the game. I understand that part, but the majority of us don't have that luxury or option to use that as an excuse. So I think TeamSpeak should be mandatory. How else are we going to build and grow, get to know each other, if we don't talk?
Yeah, I mean, there should be maybe some some exceptions, but in general. Another issue I have I didn't mention is right now we're trying to get the players with the bonds to get their tanks. So, but in regular play, before that was an issue, there were a lot of players. Now I would typically sit out a battle or two every night, which is nothing. But I see Buddy Doug and Cell even mentioned it. Cell went a whole night last week or recently where he was not called for battle. Buddy Doug sitting waiting to play over and over and over again. We should try, I think, to make sure people have a chance. I mean, I don't mind sitting out, and I think everyone else should be willing to as well. Make sure that everybody has a chance to get in on the fun of Clan Wars.
Well, PDX, one thing you got to remember is Buddy only has an IS-7, so unless there's IS-7s needed, which for most of our starts we use them, that's the caller's discretion.
That's
what we
right.
all agree upon.
And I agree with that, but like you said, Buddy has an IS-7. How often are those out of style?
In about 7 days,
When the new
about
patch goes.
9 days, they're going to be completely out of style.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
What a bitch. I mean, I hate that. Jeez.
Are they nerfing it, or?
No, June 12th, the patch drops with Object 277.
They're going to power creep it. They're not going to nerf it, they're going to power creep it.
Oh, lovely.
They'll still,
Done
they'll
with the
still get
Yosoff.
used. The IS-7s will still get used. No, it's not like it's going to go away. It'll still get used.
Its role will change dramatically.
It just won't be the viable
Its
one.
role will change.
Yeah, it'll become a second tier
Its
tank.
role will change. It will no longer be a tank that you would use to push down 2-3 line on Himmelsdorf, down the 5 line on Himmelsdorf. It won't be a pushing tank anymore. It will be a purely defensive tank.
But with that being said, so we got that added. Does anybody else have anything else they would like to add before we go into these ideas and concepts?
My apologies, buddy. I should have consulted you before I brought you up as Apple.
Well, from my point of view is I'm not here every night. So if somebody is in line to get something and they need my spot in the thing, just let me know. I'll drop out. I have no problem with that. I always feel the guys that are here every day or for most of the days should have a set place in that clan war. They put in the hours, done these strats and all these other things. They are more familiar with what's going on. I have no problem when someone goes, hey, do you mind dropping out for this other guy? Hey, I'll drop out because I feel that I'm not here every day. You guys are.
So, assuming nobody else has any other ideas to implement, just talking about molds and stuff that can be talked about a little bit later. I guess we can move into it. So we have basically two paths as I see it. And I don't know if you guys see it the same way, so anybody can feel free to correct me. We have this idea of battalions, which is allowing us to split the user base up into how they would prefer to play the game. And then we have the idea of taking another clan
User
vote
joined your channel.
to then dictate the direction that we're going to move in the game. Like I mean, as a whole. So it wouldn't be, obviously these are both going to be voted on. It's just, you know, one is to direct the whole clan in one direction. The other one is to make one clan into a community center, and then have quote unquote, I guess, sub clans in it, or companies, or whatever you want to call it.
So you're going to turn basically into something like Harm, where there's multiple clans within. One may be social, one may be, you know, competitive, and etc.
But it would all be Shire. Like, I mean, we're not so big that we have to have, you know, Harm Z, Harm B, Harm, you know, whatever. We're one clan. It's just we're moving the players into positions and environments where they feel like they want to be.
Yeah, subgroups inside the clan. We're not big enough to stratify it outside of Shire.
Well, no, I was just using that as an example.
Right. Yeah, but I didn't want to get confused with like where they have the multiple actual clans, because we aren't doing that.
It was just the structure within the clan like that.
Yes.
However, we have actually had a case of kind of thinning out the inactive players, so I think there might be a place for Mordor, you know, for the super casual.
Well, and that's first and foremost, I think that with the thinning and the super casuals and stuff like that, and especially with how our recruitment growth is trending at the moment, and while I believe recruitment should be priority number one, and I don't know if anybody disagrees with that, like, cool.
Needs to be able to field 2 teams.
Exactly.
I think that if we go ahead and get, you know, a good solid recruitment drive going, we'll be looking okay. I think something else that could possibly be considered with a clan vote and with the command agreements is looking at trying to absorb a smaller clan that has members that we're interested in. There's a lot of small clans out there that have, you know, 10, 15 guys. Half of them are serious players or semi-serious players. The other half are casual players. And they all dream of playing clan wars, but they don't have the means or ends to do it. I think that's another option on the table as far as getting our numbers up. But it would be something that would have to be done extraordinarily carefully and meticulously to make sure everything was a right mesh and to avoid hostile takeovers, the other stupid crap that goes along with that. You know, stuff that's just, we all know the dangers of doing stuff like that.
A clan commander puts a lot of effort into creating a clan, and to have that thing disintegrated can be kind of a blow, so you know, need to be sensitive about that.
Speaking of which, before we get any further, Slange, you didn't speak last night. It's your turn to talk.
What would you like me to talk about?
No, we want to hear what you feel.
Your sandwich preferences.
What's your favorite color?
All of the options discussed are viable options should the clan decide that they want to go that way. I have no objections to any of these. I just don't have much of an opinion right now.
Well, I do. Your post that you made, the promise that you made, kind of would be harmful to the clan if we went that route. Just gonna throw that on the table.
Don't remember what post it was from.
Oh, I see what you want. Okay.
You know
so
which one I'm
I
talking
need to
about.
remind people of a deal that was made when Shire was handed over in the chain of command. Some people have been around long enough to remember this, some have not. Because people have heard a lot of how Shire came to be, and when Rohan went inactive, I originally asked for Rohan. And Mick and Cam said, we're not going to give you Rohan, but tell you what. We will give you half ownership of Shire, which means that Braxton and I sat down and then we bought out half of the share from Mick and Cam for Shire. There was an agreement made between Mick, Cam, and myself. Cam asked if you ever decided that you were done with Shire, that you would put Mama Gosu, her alt account, back into the commander's position and return control back to Mick and Cam. For the record, if I ever decided that I was done, I fully intend, for my own honor as well as the agreement and respect to Mick and Cam, I would honor that agreement.
And therein lies the problem. If you decide that you don't want to be the commander anymore after this weekend,
Shire dies.
Shire does not die because Red Wolf has Mordor.
No, Shire dies.
Shire dies. You cannot put an inactive bot, honor or no honor, in charge of a clan to do decisions unless you have access to that account.
I understand, but Mordor is a completely separate clan that is not based off the agreement with Mick and Cam.
A casual clan.
Yeah, we turn that into a casual clan. So are we saying we abandon the Shire name and go to Mordor? And that's your clan and you can do what you want with it?
I don't know at this point.
Okay, hold on. Before we go forward and discuss Mordor, there's one question we have to get answered.
Yes, I know.
It has to be answered, and it needs to be answered. Period. I know you're hem-hawing on it, and you're tapping your foot around, but
I understand that. The bottom line right now, and the things that I'm paying attention to, I feel tired. I feel like I have run a marathon, and I am mentally and emotionally exhausted right now.
You shouldn't let people run train on you then, Zland. Shit. Love you, buddy.
I think with the restructuring we're proposing, Zlan, this is all going to be taken off of your shoulders.
A lot of it.
I mean, seriously, a huge chunk of it will be taken off of your shoulders. When you make these districts, all you're doing is overseeing and communicating. That's all you have to do at that point. You're not in charge of shipping. You're not in charge of looking at all this crap. Literally get to listen to what everybody else is saying and just go, yeah, okay, this sounds good. That's the whole point of the divisions and the battalions and things like that, is because it gives each section their own ability to control themselves, to play to their player base, and then still pull on the other divisions for what they need. That goes both ways. You know, the casual guys want some training. Well, guess who you go to? You go to the competitive guys. Say, hey, can we get you guys to, you know, come show us some things? Sure, you know. The semi-casual guys turn around and say, you know, semi-competitive guys turn around and say, hey, we want to run in some clan wars. You think we can arrange that? Yeah, absolutely. Fucking let's work it in. And it removes all of that from you.
I understand.
Your position shouldn't be, I mean, it's overall in charge. You should not be involved, essentially, in the day-to-day
I understand the distribution of the workload, but it doesn't change the emotional strain and the mental strain that comes with this.
So then the real question is are you or are you not going to stay in charge of the clan? Because if you're not, then we're just wasting our time tonight. If you are, then let's move forward.
And therein lies the question that I've been asking myself since last night.
Okay. Zlange, let me phrase the question. Last night, before I messaged you, where were you at with being in charge of the
I was energized. I was enthusiastic. I was...
Stop. Okay. Guess what? Nothing's changed. We cleared the air. We put all the trash out. Nothing has changed.
That's not true, because I have changed. I have changed.
You can hear it in his voice.
Well, I know you can hear it in his voice, but it's because of the mindset he's at, and that's what I'm trying to show is that, see, reality is just a series of
Yes,
perceptions.
allegory of the cave.
Absolutely.
I understand this.
Okay, I mean, exactly. You know, it literally is just. So the fact is, Lange got all this bad news, and his perception shifted. The fact is, he just needs to go back to that perception, because what he has to understand is none of us here are fighting against him. We aired the dirty laundry, we hung it out to dry, took good care of it.
Which I understand this as well, because the issue isn't you guys, the issue is me.
No, the issue is everyone.
Well, it was
User
just brought
joined
to
your
the
channel.
forefront.
And I don't mean that as in you guys were
Yeah.
like, you're pointing out Slange's flaws. The issue isn't even pointing out flaws. The issue is a internal issue of myself right now. It has nothing to do with you.
I gave you 24 hours to feel sorry for yourself, and you've got about 4 more. It's right around 4 hours, maybe.
For the record,
5,
Patamon,
and then
I
you
don't
have-
appreciate the assumption that you are inside of my head and that this is for me feeling sorry for myself, because it's not.
The issue is lack of communication. Everyone had issues and no one brought it up, and now the pot has boiled over to the point where it's overflowing. Blanche, you have most of the clan's support.
I understand this, especially after the vote last night, and I certainly appreciate it.
But it might not be bad that, you know, you've had a little shock to your system, reassess things. And I would say take your time. I mean, we would like to have an answer so we know where we're going, but you actually deserve it to yourself to take the time you need to make your decision, which, you know, I hope when you do will be to, you know, get back in the saddle, maybe with some new rules and some new expectations on how much of a load we are going to take from your shoulders.
I will allow me to explain some of my thinking. Some of the thoughts that are running through my head when I'm asking myself about this is the amount of energy that I have invested in this clan and the time and the dedication that I have put into it. Is that something I want to continue doing? Is that something that I'm willing to do at this point? I don't view that as me feeling sorry for myself. I view that as me asking, we've hit a turning point. I've hit a turning point, and I have to decide, which way do I want to go? Because it's not fair to you guys to keep you guys strung out, and so you guys need an answer just as much as I do, if not more.
Look, you can't manage all aspects of the clan. That's why you have your
I
officers
understand this as well.
divvy up the
But
load.
one of the other things that I would say is, what has my function been? Before last night, what was my function? My function was that of an exo, not a commander. I would run around and I would put out fires and I would work on development, try and help out in recruitment, and I fulfilled a lot of different roles, but were any of them an actual commanding officer role? Not really. I was more of an exo more than anything.
Yeah, well, delegating authority is not an easy thing to do, and that's probably something you need to work on if you're going to command.
You want to know what a commander
He
does?
does everything.
Want to know what a leader does?
No, I don't. I don't mean that as in like I'm going to do every single job. I mean he has to be versed in every single job so that he can say, "You do this job. You do that job."
No, he doesn't.
No.
He relies on his subordinates to give him suggestion, and then he makes the ultimate decision. That's it. That's all commanders do.
A commander is somebody who is a glue, okay, that people gather around and are like, yeah, this dude's cool or inspiring or, you know, whatever. He's the figurehead. He's the charger into battle. He's this, that, other thing. Sure, there are some great commanders throughout history that were well versed. There were some who were not. Let me name off one: Adolf Hitler, Mussolini, President Obama.
Do you?
You know, I mean, list goes on.
Well, I even look at Patton. Patton was very good at motivating troops, but he was not very good at coddling them.
No, exactly.
He had he had other officers that were very good at doing other stuff, but liaison, logistics, he was not. He was. We need to go forward.
I mean, do you think my manager at work knows how to do everything, design a wing? No. I mean, you can't be expected to do it all.
No, but he recognizes those that can and puts them in positions to make the decisions.
And he needs to delegate the workload to his commanding officers as appropriate.
Which has been a process, which is why we have Patamon in the position, and we have Hazars in the position, why we have Chibi in the position, why I continually hunt, why I've had discussions with the intelligence officers and the rest of the officer corps about XOs, and okay, I haven't found the right candidate for an XO, or something of that nature where I'm continuously in the hunt for it. I mean, I get that. I've been trying to delegate, but I have to work with what I have, and sometimes the answers don't immediately come, and neither do solutions. Sometimes it's an ever-ongoing, evolving process, as it always will be and should be.
I have an answer for you on that. Okay, assuming we do the battalion thing, assuming you're still in, we reabsorb Mordor, assuming that Red Wolf is
correct,
akin
because
to
it
that
is
idea.
his clan.
Okay. Then, just like with any merger, when you go to the chips and tables, Commander Red Wolf would retain his title, therefore making him an XO. You trusted him enough to run a sister clan.
Yeah, the only possible issue I see with that is the amount of time that he has to play.
Which
well, that's not necessarily an issue,
especially
because if he
recently.
puts himself into the casual category, then it doesn't really matter, does it?
Exactly.
Also, we just transitioned to a more competitive stance. There is a transition period.
Absolutely.
And we're still figuring it out.
Well, I've been in clans where you had XOs, and each one maybe specialized in their own little thing, but all of them together created one really good player. But one was good at recruiting, one was good at handling problems, one was good at doing this logistics stuff, but they all created one really good player. If you understand what I'm saying.
And most of it comes down to communication. I go into Slack and I see a huge argument going on between a few people. Don't use Slack as a template to iron out issues. Go to TeamSpeak.
Just a reminder from Gingy, he says that we have 5 minutes until the battle pops for Clan Wars.
So don't use Slack as a way to get your issue out in the open. Talk about it. Don't type it.
It sounds to me like Blanche has a week or so to make up what he wants to do. Clan Wars will be done by that time. We can go ahead and make a decision about what we as a group want to do. We can start the process if we're going to continue as Shire to implement some sort of changes that we want to do. And if it doesn't want to continue that way, then we can all shake hands and say goodbye and go our own ways.
You don't have to say goodbye. We can just switch back to more of a casual clan.
Yeah,
Just
or we
have
switch
fun.
to a casual clan. That's fine too.
Just go back to having fun in strongholds. Joke around.
Second, the idea of giving him the time till the end of Clan Wars so he can make.
We're going to be doing these meetings weekly, right? So next Saturday night, Clan Wars will be wrapping up by then. People have a week to think about it. You want to do that?
I will continue to perform my functions until I have a decision. I will not drop the ball. So,
Slange, at this point, Slange, there is no function at this point. You can just chill out.
Yeah,
You don't have to chip. You don't have to chip battles. You don't have to do anything. There is no function at this point.
Yeah,
Take a vacation.
delegate to your officers. Take a break.
I'd like to see you running the place long term, so why don't you take this week off? Play tanks.
No, puppies enrage me. So do front lines. I can't stand the general public player base.
Well, then take a week off from the game, period.
Or just take a week off from being commander and play the game with the rest of us.
Yeah, enjoy the game.
And, you know, you could, if anything, we could all jump down into Mordor and start it up as a half competitive, half casual.
Or we can
the
start
the template that you guys are describing is easily transferable to anywhere, any name, anything.
Within clan. May as well just keep it Shire.
Well,
yeah, and I was not
you
aware
cannot
of the
keep it as Shire due to the agreement that I made with Mick and Cam. If
you said you bought it out, how much does it cost to buy it out?
it's a half share. They didn't sell the entire. I bought half.
Okay, so how?
It's
so how much is
2,500
the
for the
half?
startup, so I'm sitting at 1,250 between Braxton and I.
I hope you're talking gold
Correct.
and not dollars.
It's gold.
Gold.
Okay.
Gosh, damn. $2,500. Come on.
Dude, so I'm starting a new business. I'm going to start making startup clans. Who's with me?
Well,
I'll
Shire is a
bankroll you
name.
with 5,000 gold right now.
Shire is a name. We're a community. The two have rules
Correct.
to do with one another.
Because I tell you what, I just got here, but I enjoy playing with all you guys. Y'all have taught me a lot of things. My scores have come up. I've run with a bunch of you guys, and I ain't quite ready to head off into the wind right now.
I don't think anybody is, but we can't make a decision on what we're going to do with this clan until Zlan makes his decision based upon his agreement.
Also, contact Cam or Mick to see how invested they really are in the name of.
They
name of
offered
Shire,
to sell me
because
Rohan.
I never see them.
Later on, once they saw that I was successfully reviving and restructuring and rebuilding, and I said I was not ready for two clans at this point.
I'm prepared to buy out the clan.
No, in terms of Shire, because
with
I never see
25% increase in profit.
I've never seen Cam or Mick around recently. So how invested are they in the name of Shire?
They're not.
Yeah,
But
so
we should not be
talk
either.
to them
It's just-
about it.
We should not be that invested in the name either.
It's
us,
not
it's our
invested in
community.
the name, it's invested in the community. Yeah, because I think that's what the problem here is, that this clan dissolves. Okay, well, let me just paint the picture of what happens. if this
Special
clan
battle has
dissolves.
popped.
Okay,
Special
special
battle
battle popped. Himmelsdorf, you guys should know roughly what to grab.
Well, go ahead. While we're getting
Table
in, go
this
ahead
and
and give us some
deal with
spiel.
clan wars.
Yes.
If this clan falls apart, okay, and everybody drops tags, there is going to be a percentage of people who are indeed going to agree to go to Mordor, we'll use it as an example, to go do their thing there. There's also going to be a huge chunk of everybody just going to the winds and striking out on their own. I would say a much larger chunk than what people are anticipating. It's not going to be onesies or twosies. It's going to be 10 to 15 people.
Urge you to recall what happened with Rohan when it dissolved. And the very few core players that were left, it was a handful. And some did go off to other clans, and we ended up attracting them back. Paradox was in Dimbo. And it took a lot of work to prove that the clan was coming back in that rebuild to get it to the point where he said, yeah, okay, I'll come back. And there were a lot of other players that came back for those reasons.
Look, I've stuck around this clan because I enjoy the community. That's why I stuck around.
Yeah, me too.
I like Zlange as a leader. He's friendly. He's cool, and everyone else. Chibi's hilarious at times.
When was that?
I can't remember.
Sometime last month, I think.
2 months ago. But it's the community is why I stuck around. It wasn't because of competitive or success in Clan Wars Strongholds because I stuck around because I enjoy playing with these people in this clan. That's why I stuck around.
But like I said, I came here because people were telling me you guys were the way you were, and when I got here, I found out, yeah, this is the way you guys are. So I stayed. I mean, I'm kind of like what you just said. I like the community more than I care about a name on my tank. I just want to keep the community going.
Well, in order, honestly, in order to keep this community, it does hinge on
Which is
Flange.
why this is not an easy decision
And
for me
here's
to
the
make.
thing.
It's part of the reason it's taking so long.
Okay. So to sum this up, so we can get ready for Clan Wars. Blanche, take the week off. Do whatever you want. I don't care. You have no responsibilities at this point in time. I mean, literally, there's no higher administrative function that needs to be done. There's no fires to put out. Nothing. We've got it.
Go
Okay?
out, smell
the
the
watch is
flowers.
ours. Whatever. Okay. I also want you to message Mick and whoever and tell them I'm willing to pay them 25% extra gold or whoever for ownership rights to Shire in order to maintain the community standard in the event that you step down.
I will message them.
I would like Lance to remain our commander. Even if
I'm not asking for a commander.
Oh, no,
I'm
I
paying
understand.
the gold to free the title of Shire,
Well, let me
and then
finish.
you guys can figure out what you want to do with it.
Well, just real quick finish for my thoughts. I'd like Lance. I think you've done a great job as commander, and I'd like to see you as commander. If you're not commander, I don't think that's any reason for the community to break apart. I would like to see you, Lance, at least be part of the community, and let somebody else take a turn. I certainly would like to see you involved with whatever clan, under whatever name we wind up with. And we will lose some people, but I bet we won't lose the clan war teams. But we won't lose the most active people in the clan.
I appreciate that thought, but I will be honest with you, I'm not sure that I could do that. It would be incredibly awkward for me to remain if I step down.
Honestly, I
Hey,
don't
Jugs.
see. Yeah.
This is Wild Duck. Lance, here's the deal from I see it. I've been in here for a short while. I came here because of Jugs, because he told me about you. I've been in a crap ton of clans, and they all break apart because of crap like this. The way I see it, you bought this thing for whatever you did. You had a vision of what you wanted, and that's the direction you were going. The competitive side of it started after the fact, and that's the portion that's creating the drama, if you will. You're the commander, you take the clan in the direction you want to go, you stay commander. If people want to be competitive, let them be
User
competitive.
joined your channel.
But you should not lose your clan, and this community should not lose the person that brought them here, because other people want to do something different than what you had envisioned with your clan. So don't let that hinder you. My 2 cents.
Nobody's asking him to give up Shire. Nobody's asking him to step down. We just want to know what his decision is going to be.
I realize that, but it's hard for him to stay.
No,
when he
I don't
feels that it's
understand why.
holding people back, because the way I see it, he wanted a clan that was a community that people enjoyed, where everybody was having fun, equals, if you will. And when this is creating a division. And I've been in so many clans throughout the years. And this
So
is what
there's also
happens.
another little bit that goes
you
with
lose
the
money.
original creation of and rebuild of Shire. Not so much Mick and Cam build, but I started this group out to say that, okay, we have a community, we enjoy working as a team, we care more about our team play more than anything. I have a very biased view, and this was probably going to offend some people, so cover your ears if you're worried, but I personally detest clans like Otter. Why? Because Otter came in and they were doing a stronghold or an advance, I can't remember which of the two it was, but he called us a bunch of shitters because we were learning, and we're like, it's okay, whatever, we're learning, we're getting better, and we're like, okay, well, we're developing calls. I was developing calls at that time. And when he was like, yeah, bunch of fucking tomato shitters, I took offense.
Well?
And I then made it a point to be spiteful, to say, you know what, I have a bigger belief in a strong community that works together as a team and has that cohesive team play, can go out there and take down Otter. They can take down Mahu. They can take down these people, have a good time, whereas most of those big-time clans like Otter have such an attrition because those guys, despite how good they play, can't fucking stand each other. I set out initially to take the community because I thought the community that we had was such a gem that this was the team that I could assemble to go out there and do that. I still believe this group can do that. However, the question is, once again, for the amount of energy and time that I have put into it, do I want to keep doing that? You guys need to deal with clan wars. You need to go get set up with your caller. Go do your thing.
Well, hang around. We'll discuss this later tonight.
User left your channel. Hey, User left your channel. User left your channel. User left your